Hey, welcome back to Left 4 Dead Garage. I said I wasn't going to do this video, but due to I don't have a video for this week, and I'm not going to have a video this week because, well, weather and time, I just can't get down here. So this being the easiest way to get a little content out, and to be honest, I'm pretty curious as to what happened here. So we're going to let it rain, we're going to let it be cold outside. What we're going to do tonight, or this evening, since it's kind of sort of quick and easy, is we're going to finally see what happened, or attempt to find out what happened with my poor old big block. Why did it eat the bearings out of it? I don't necessarily know if I can find out why, but I'm going to take a shot at it. I didn't want to take this thing apart because I didn't want big block parts scattered all over, but to be honest with you, the crank's garbage, the rods are garbage. I don't know who would want to press off cast pistons onto other rods, so they're probably garbage. Maybe we can make trophies out of them and hand it out at car shows. The heads are clean, but nothing special. And then the block, well, we're just going to have a block. I think I got enough room over here cleaned off to pile everything until it falls in the floor and I get tired of it and finally throw it away or do something with it. So let me drag out some tools. Pretty sure I got the oil out of this thing, but we'll double check it. And let's start peeling this bad boy apart. All right, working with a little bit of a limited space here. I got what's left of the oil draining out of there. Buzz everything off the top. We'll pull the cylinder heads, rocker arms, all that mess. And I guess I need to pull this balancer again, or I may just leave it in there. I don't know yet. But yeah, I'm gonna pull the balancer because we're gonna pull the cam out. I'm curious to see what the cam looks like. Hopefully I can make all of this happen tonight. So I'm gonna be working kind of fast. There may have been a little confusion. I guess I should have made it clear in the last video that if you didn't understand why I was swapping the big block for the 6 liter, then you should probably go and watch the previous videos, or watch the whole playlist on the truck, because it's pretty interesting on where I found it, or where it was found, or where it was parked and for how long, and why I used this motor in the beginning, or any other part of the truck for that matter. Now, the big block Chevy, it oils through the camshaft, then to the mains. So I've had several people say that it probably wiped the cam out, and that's what took out the main bearings, the rod bearings, all the bearings. A small box or bucket would be absolutely fantastic right now, but I am not prepared, so I guess I'll just pile it all on this piece of plywood. I will be covering this other block on the engine stand next week, I believe. I hope to gather more parts for that before I make that video, but if not, we'll do the best I can with what I got. So I really hate that this went the way it did, but unfortunately, that's just how it goes sometimes. I need to take this temp sensor out of this intake manifold anyway. All right, let me see how many of these. I need to take this loose so I can get to that front bolt. I don't think I've owned an intake that I've installed and removed so many times as it has this guy. This intake started on the Impala, ended up on this motor, and then back off of this motor, then back on this motor. So, well, that gasket stuck. I think these are 5/16. Yep. Can't get to all of them, but we'll get to what we can. She was stuck on there. All right, well, I guess we'll hang the old intake manifold up here with the rest of the wall art. It's got a little coolant still in it. I'll just stick it over here. Maybe another day, maybe another day. I'm real curious to know what kind of cam this is. Whether it's, oh boy. Well, I've had it upside down, so maybe that's where the bearing material came from. I'm gonna take these rockers loose. Just for ha-has, I'm gonna put these lifters in order. Not saying I'm gonna use them, but I'm just gonna put them in order. So, set that guy there. What are we, 5/8? Nope. 9/16. Little thing. Now, this is a Gen 5, so non-adjustable. And when I heard that noise earlier, before I really heard the noise, I thought that's might have what it been. I thought that might have been what I was hearing was too much cam on a non-adjustable valve train. And I was just about to order that conversion kit from Larry at Competition Products. Speaking of,
Competition Products, your source for hardcore engine parts for street, strip, and oval track. Our free catalog is packed with hundreds of product lines from the best-known manufacturers in the performance industry. Lowest prices guaranteed. Free shipping and handling on all orders over $149 in the continental U.S. Need expert advice? Our knowledgeable staff is just a phone call away. Competition Products, race parts sold by racers since 1970.
Until I swapped mufflers that evening and realized that no, it was not a valve train noise. All right, I got a bag over there. I'm gonna put this stuff in. It's a little big. That's all I got. So now I'm going to look at all this, sort of. I mean, everything looks brand new. See, look at this. It's clean as a pin. Push rods look good. They're clean. So if you go back to the video where I started this thing, I treated it just like it was brand new. Primed it properly till I had oil upstairs. So, because I was trying to avoid a cam failure of any sorts, mean, it was clearly gone through. And I feel like this thing has been together long enough to where it might have been out of the window of when camshafts and lifters were more prone to fail, like this newer stuff. I'm feeling, I've had the motor for 2, maybe 3 years. I'm pretty sure Daniel had it for 5+ years. So, I don't know. We'll find out. If we did wipe the cam out. So, spark plugs are out. I'm just gonna alright, so let me roll this thing around so I can keep up with these lifters. There's one. I wish I'd checked the compression on this thing, the cranking compression. I mean, I could probably do that, but I've took connecting rods loose, so we probably better not. Let's say the cam's not wiped out. Would you run it again? Could there be metal in the lifters? Maybe. Could take a few apart, take a look. I know I've not looked at the bottom of these yet. I'm not really ready to. We'll look at them together. I can't get a hold of that one. I cheated. I looked at one. That one's still early. All right, I'm gonna set these right over here. All right, lifters are out. Let's pull some cylinder heads. I mean, they're pretty fresh still. I don't know. Let's keep digging. All right. Missing the bucket again? No. Let's pull the timing cover. We'll spin it around so you probably might be able to see what I'm doing here. drop the pan. I forgot about that. All right, well, let's flip her over here, make a big mess, because it still has coolant in it. Great. Let me get a big pan. I had it upside down out there, but some of it's made it through. Ain't a whole lot, but we need that big pan anyway, because I'm sure it's gonna make more of a mess than I planned. Okie dokie. Now I didn't put all the pan bolts back in it because I didn't really feel like it was necessary, so that won't take but a second. What was that? Oh, the washer off the... All right, we'll just go down through this side, pull them apart. I don't necessarily know if I'll pull the crank, just because I think we can... Oh man, this was a good one-piece gasket too. Reckon I can save that? That would be handy to have for a slap it together, will it run kind of thing. It's kind of bent up now, but it'll be okay. Let's pull this timing chain off, because to be honest with you, that's where I really want to be looking anyway. I'd probably salvage the timing set, you know, if I was in a pinch or something. But I'll probably forget to pull this gear off and throw the crank away, and that'll be all she wrote. All right, place your bets. Did we wipe the cam out? That one was going away. Look at it. We're losing that one. Any of the other ones? This one. I believe that one was going away too. It's not wiped out, but it's headed that way. So the cam, I don't feel like the cam took the motor out, but that lobe and this, was it that one? I don't know. We can take dial calipers and check across the lobe. It doesn't give us any specs, but speaking of specs, we got a comp cams number. Comp cams 11-250-3. Let's Google it. What did I say? 11250-3. Comp cams 11250-3. It's a rather healthy camshaft. It is a 2300 to 6500 cam. Duration at 50 is 240, 246 with a 574, 578 lift on 110 degree lobe separation. I'll tell you what, that was one fantastic sounding camshaft. So sad, so sad. All right, that doesn't really tell me what happened. That tells me what was trying to happen. So we got 2 or 3 here that are questionable. Just for ha-has, let's just, so we know it's 574, 578. So this measurement, which means nothing other than us just checking it, we know that the lift split is only 4 thousandths apart. So like I said, this means absolutely nothing. Across the lobe, 1" 5, 58. All right, I'm gonna skip down to this one that looks suspect. 1" 5, 15. So there's definitely some wear going on there. This one is 1" 5, 92. There was definitely some wear going on, unfortunately. This one's 585, 585, 587. So we were on the process of definitely losing the cam. That's a 1" 600. So, you know, heartbreaking disaster was headed my way, and unfortunately that's with zinc additive and oil with zinc in it, and it was still headed south. All right, so I didn't think to look last time, but there should be, I believe anyway, there might be a date code on these bearings, and we can see when these bearings were made, and that'll give us an idea of when this old motor was put together. So let's pull a couple rods out of it. That's number 1. Looks lovely. 10 of 08, so 2008. The motor's been together a long time. I hate to even knock this thing apart, but for video purposes, why not? Whew, boy. Look at that thing. Looking rough, looking rough. There's actually a guy in Hickory right up the road has got a Gen 5 crankshaft, the stock crank. Still wants like 300 bucks for it. I don't necessarily know if I'm that interested in. This one don't look no better. This is 2. All to the copper. top half looking rough too. Look at that. Pretty bad. This, well, we'll find that nut later. This is the rod that I lost the nut to. It's over there now. Not that it matters. This is also the rod cap that the bearing falls out of. It's stuck to the crank mount. Could probably check maybe some sort of out around rough on equipment tonight. Here's the upper half. Holy moly donut shop. Look at this. That was on its way out of here. Yes, sir. That thing was not far from spinning. That was our rattle. I just don't feel like it rattled enough to do that rod like that. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. We'll look at them over there on the table. But this one's the worst one. Number 3. They are numbered. That one's all copper. This one was headed south too. So here's was probably another knock. There's that guy. That one don't look as bad. Don't look as good as it could either. What is this, 6? Well, kind of in a pickle, so we'll take. This should be 5. 1, 3, 5, yeah. There's a rod cap of 5. Here's the top bearing. It really surprises me how loose these bearing shells are. in these rods. Poor old impact just can't make it tonight. That hurt. So this one wasn't looking all that bad. They have not all done that. That's where I keep leaning towards. I don't feel like the rods were sized when this thing was built. And seeing how that crank is already 20 tells me there was something going on. I'm bleeding. All right, 2 to go, 2 to go. Not terrible, but not too good either. All right, that bearing's stuck to the crank. Doesn't look as bad. That one actually looks the best. Number 8. Upper bearing don't look that bad. I think I'm gonna let that one drain. Well, I don't know if we learned much. However, I do feel like, and that's just a guess, and I feel like I want to ask questions to somebody that knows more than I do. I feel like the rods that have the most bearing slack in their big end are the worst of the bearings, are the ones that we're trying to turn. There would have been a lot of bearing distortion in there if those big ends aren't sized properly. Now, I may be talking over my head here. I'm just trying to make sense of it for myself. If the big end's not round, and you put a round bearing in there, then I could see where it would cause some crazy clearance issues to go on. Is that what happened? Was the top and bottom, like here's your rod journal, was the cap and the top of the rod, was it tight and the rod bolt side wide, causing a weird clearance thing? Maybe, maybe not. We're definitely losing a cam, but it was not like I've seen. Not enough to wreck all this, I don't think. And we can flip the lifters over. They're junk because the cam's junk. We'll take a look. I'm gonna show them all to you. Matter of fact, I'll just walk over here and we'll look at them together. I mean, unfortunately, we're losing a cam. such a gamble with flat tappet stuff. And even this thing, those bearings showing that 08 date code, I had high hopes that it wouldn't take a cam out. I mean, that's not why we're standing here though. I don't believe. There was definitely some camshaft wear. All right, this one right here was, look at that pattern. You see that? There was definitely something going on with that one. That one's clean. As with this one. So we were destined for disaster, but I just don't feel like that camshaft is what done this to these bearings. I just don't see it anyway. Well, let me get cleaned up and I'm gonna spray these rods down, and we can, whether it gives us an idea what happened or not, I don't know, but we can check side to side, up to down on the big end of the rod and just see if the rods vary in that big end bore. So let me clean up.
Sometimes you got to overlook me because I'm kind of like a OBD1 port that's, you know, processing. Takes me a little while to figure out what's going on. So just saying that, because this situation laid out here proves that I guess I got ahead of myself, and I'm actually happy that I got ahead of myself, because things have changed since Friday that look promising for this garbage here. So with that being said, I brought home a dial bore gauge, and we're going to check the big ends of these rods. I've only looked at this one, I will admit, and it looks pretty good. So if the rest of these 7 prove me completely wrong in what I said in the beginning of this video and at the end of 2 orange truck videos ago, when I think I talked about it, when I pulled the rods out, or pulled the caps and looked at the bearings and just could have swore the big end of the rod was trashed. So this is going to be kind of difficult. I'm just going to stick the GoPro right here, and I'm just going to quickly go through it as fast as I can, because this video ended up being way longer than I had really thought it would be. So I'm going to stick you right here, and we're going to check the big end of these rods, roughly check it. This is not the most precision way. This is the best way I have. It's got there's a lot of variable in this, because, you know, human error basically. So let's do that right quick. All right, we're going to super precision this. I'm going to use this custom rod clamp here. I think it may or may not work. Maybe the corner of the table is a better choice, but it's not going to hold it flat. That's the problem, because the big end is wider. All right, that ain't working like I had planned. All right, that's out. So I'll just have to hold it the best way I can. Maybe like this. So I've got the dial bore gauge set on 0. Through a set of micrometers. 1 inch 325, I believe, is what I got it set on. Now, I can't quite get it flat in there. Like I said, this is not the best way to check it, but it'll give us an idea that they're not trashed. So this is a little harder than I had planned to do, because I got to hold all this flat. It's not working out well. And then this custom spacer that I use at work is a little bit small, or a little bit big for this job, so I can't really get a good flat. Let me try it without it. Usually have better luck with it at work. You can see it goes past 0 just a little bit. And there we go. Couple thou. We'll go this way. So that one's, I mean, there is a little bit of out around. I mean, this, like I said, this is just an idea. So 3 and 4, I believe, if I remember right, were the worst. So let's just see what they look like. Not too bad. They're a little out of round. But it also could be how I'm holding this. But not enough to make the bearing fall out of the cap. That's what I'm getting at. I'm just proving that I was wrong in my assumption, because we know what assuming spells. Ooh, a little snug on this one. So I thought about this nonstop because that's kind of how my brain works. And I got to thinking maybe the bearings are distorted. It's like when it lost material, clearly, and then you add heat, would the bearings close up? Well, that is in fact what happened. So let me show you. Didn't even need that dial bore gauge because this center bearing and this center bearing are from rod 8, and we all know that was the best one. So if you line up the bearing halves at the top, precision like, same way with this one. Best you can. We can even flip this around so it's tang to tang to tang. Is that a song? Then look down here. Number 8 bearing. This is 3 and 4, I think. I can't remember. Same way with this one. So the bearing shells, in fact, did close up. So that brings me to my next idea. Now I kind of put the cart in front of the horse here because I didn't look at these bearings until yesterday. Today's Sunday. And then I purchased something Friday. So just realized it's still in the car. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, let me show you my $40 Craigslist special that could potentially put that motor over there, wherever it's at. Where's it at? Right there. Potentially put it back together. Because it looks pretty good to me. And I believe what I'm going to do is send it to the machine shop, have it checked, and then if it is good, then we're going to have the rods sized and put new bolts in them. So, and then in a future video, reassemble. So this is my $40 special. It is a standard 454 crankshaft, and it came with a balancer or a dampener, whatever you want to call it, which is good because the threads in mine are starting to quit the team. Everything looks good in this thing. It looks 4-inch stroke, GM, $40 for just a regular old GM crank, which I need to wipe down so she don't flash rust. It's got a little mark right here, but I believe it can be maybe polished out. I don't even want to turn it. Like that's like budget. That's how I'm going to try to put this thing back together. Other than the camshaft, kind of hosed on that because the correct fix would be a roller cam and cam lifter, springs, push rods. You're looking at about $1,500. So no budget in that, but maybe there's another solution somewhere down the road or around the corner or under a rock or something. I don't know. But that's where I'm going to end this video. Thanks for watching Left 4 Dead Garage. Please let me know what you think happened here. And we'll see you on the next one.